Welcome back, treasure hunters and coin lovers. Today, we are going on an exciting journey into the world of the Lincoln cent, one of the most iconic and beloved coins in American history. And our spotlight is on a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors worldwide, the 1960D Lincoln penny. At first glance, the 1960D penny looks like any ordinary copper coin you might find in your pocket change. It has Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and that familiar reddish-brown shine that copper pennies are known for. But what makes this coin so special is that, hidden among the billions minted, there are rare varieties and errors that can transform this tiny coin into a collector's dream. Let's go back in time for a moment. The year was 1960. The United States was entering a new decade. John F. Kennedy was elected president, the country was buzzing with innovation, and the U.S. Mint was working at full speed to produce coins for an expanding economy. At the Denver Mint alone, over 1.5 billion Lincoln cents were struck. With such massive numbers, you might think none of them could ever be rare. But history often proves otherwise. The 1960 penny became famous because of two distinct varieties, the small date and the large date. Now, for many people, the difference is so slight that they might never notice. But to a collector's eye, it is a crucial detail. On the small date variety, the digits of the year look thinner and more delicate, while on the large date version, the numbers are bolder and heavier. This small difference in design created two separate categories that collectors chase after, especially when paired with the Denver Mint mark, but the story doesn't end there. During the minting process, errors and unusual strikes occurred. Some coins show double dies, where parts of the design appear doubled under magnification. Others reveal repunched mint marks, where the D for Denver was struck more than once, creating a shadow effect. These small imperfections, instead of lowering value, actually make the coin more desirable. Collectors treasure these mistakes because they represent the human side of coin production, proof that even with machines and mass production, rare gems can slip through. Think about it, every jar of old pennies sitting in someone's house, every roll of cents waiting to be opened at a bank, could contain a treasure hiding in plain sight. That's what makes the 1960D penny so exciting. It's not just a piece of copper. It's a chance, a hope, a dream of uncovering a fortune from something so small. Over the decades, collectors have carefully examined these coins, grading them for quality and preserving the rarest in pristine condition. When one of these rare examples comes up for auction, the bidding can become intense. Serious collectors know how rare these coins are, and they are willing to pay astonishing amounts to add them to their collection, and here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. Imagine sitting in an auction room, watching the bids climb higher and higher. The room is silent, every collector waiting to see the final number. And when the gavel comes down, the crowd realizes they just witnessed history. That's exactly what happened with the 1960D penny. The ordinary-looking coin that you could have mistaken for pocket change turned out to be a record setter. Its value reached heights that no one could have imagined. So, if you come across a 1960 penny, take a closer look. Check if it's the small date or large date variety. Look for that little D mint mark under the year. And if you see signs of doubling, or if the coin appears in mint fresh condition, you could be holding something truly special, because one of these humble 1960D pennies has been sold for an unbelievable $55,000. Today we're diving deep into the incredible story of a coin that looks so ordinary, yet carries with it an unbelievable hidden value. We're talking about the United States 1-cent penny from the year 1976 with the D mint mark. At first glance, it seems like just another penny, the kind of coin you might find at the bottom of a drawer, lost between couch cushions, or handed to you as simple pocket change. But what if I told you that one of these pennies has been valued higher than most cars, higher than the cost of a luxury vacation, and even higher than many people's yearly income? Before we get to the shocking price, let's travel back in time for a moment. The year was 1976, a year that carried tremendous importance in American history. This was the year of the bicentennial, a once-in-a-lifetime celebration of 200 years of freedom since the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. Across the nation, people were celebrating, fireworks filled the skies, and even coins were specially designed to honor this milestone. Quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins featured patriotic bicentennial designs with the dual date 1776 to 1976. But the humble penny? It kept its traditional design with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the front and the Lincoln Memorial standing tall on the back. Now, here's where things get intriguing. Even though the penny's design did not change that year, something else happened at the mints that made certain 1976 pennies extremely rare and valuable. The Denver Mint, marked with the small letter D under the date, produced millions of Lincoln cents in 1976. For most, they were nothing more than everyday coins, meant to circulate and be spent. But among those millions, a small handful turned out to be special, carrying errors, variations, or unique characteristics that would later make them treasures for collectors. Think about it for a second, every coin is supposed to be exactly the same. But machines, like people, sometimes make mistakes. A slight doubling in the design, a misaligned die, or unusual characteristics in the strike can transform a regular coin into something extraordinary. Collectors call these error coins, or varieties, and they're always hunting for them. And it just so happens that certain 1976 Lincoln pennies fall into that category. Picture this: you're sifting through your change, maybe after buying a coffee or paying for groceries. You spot a penny with the date 1976 and a little D mint mark under the year. You don't think much of it, because after all, it's just a penny. But what if that small coin, sitting between your fingers, is one of the rarest examples known to collectors? What if it's the kind of penny that could pay off debts, buy you a new car, or even change your financial situation overnight? The truth is, coins like this do exist, and they're not always locked away in museums. Many times, they're still hidden in people's collections, tucked away in old jars, or resting in forgotten boxes in attics and basements. The magic of coin collecting is that anyone, anywhere, can make a discovery that changes everything. Now let's talk about why collectors go crazy for these coins. It's not just about the metal, after all, pennies are made mostly of copper and zinc. It's about the story. It's about holding in your hand a piece of history that was struck during a year of national pride and celebration. And when that coin carries a rare feature that sets it apart from millions of others, its value skyrockets. Imagine the auction room when one of these rare pennies is brought out. Collectors are on the edge of their seats. Some have been waiting their entire lives to see an example like this. The bidding starts low, but within seconds, the numbers climb higher and higher. 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, the crowd holds its breath as the final bid is placed. The hammer falls, and the price is locked in, and now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. One of these rare 1976 Lincoln pennies has been valued at a jaw-dropping amount. A coin so small, so ordinary to the naked eye, has stunned collectors with its price tag. That single penny, the kind most people would overlook, was worth an incredible $45,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A 1-cent coin that could once buy nothing more than a piece of candy has now become a treasure worth $45,000. Imagine walking down the street, finding a penny lying on the ground, and bending down to pick it up. Most people would ignore it. After all, what's a penny worth these days? Just 1 cent. But what if that same little coin, forgotten by millions and tossed into jars, piggy banks, and pockets, could actually be worth more than a brand new car, or even enough to completely change your financial situation? That's the incredible story of the 1983 1-cent penny with no mint mark. A coin that seems ordinary, yet hides a secret most people never notice. And today, we're going to dive deep into why this coin is so valuable, what makes it different from the billions of other pennies out there, and how you might just have one sitting in your own collection or spare change without even realizing it. Let's take a step back in time. The year is 1983. Ronald Reagan is president. Michael Jackson's Thriller is topping the charts. Gas costs about $1.25 per gallon. And in the world of coins, something very interesting is happening. Just 1 year earlier, in 1982, the U.S. Mint decided to change the way pennies were made. For over 100 years, pennies had been made mostly of copper. That rich reddish-brown metal gave the coin its famous color and weight. But copper had become expensive. The cost of the metal inside the coin was actually more than the coin itself was worth. So, in 1982, the U.S. Mint made a decision that would forever change the history of the penny. They switched from mostly copper to a new composition, a zinc core with just a thin copper coating. To the naked eye, they looked the same. But in reality, they were very different coins. Here's where it gets fascinating. In the middle of this transition, mistakes happened. Some coins were accidentally struck using the older copper planchets. Others were struck with unusual die varieties, and a handful were struck without a mint mark when they should have had one. And one of the rarest of them all is the 1983 penny without a mint mark. Now, what does "no mint mark" even mean? On most coins, you'll see a small letter below the date. A D means it was made in Denver. An S means it came from San Francisco. And when you don't see a letter, that usually means the coin was struck in Philadelphia. For the penny, Philadelphia coins often don't carry a mint mark, but 1983 is unique because of the conditions under which the coins were made. Certain rare examples have characteristics that set them apart and make them incredibly valuable to collectors. Think about it like this: billions of pennies were made in 1983. You could line them up from here to the moon and back, and almost every single one would only be worth a single cent. But in that massive ocean of ordinary coins, a tiny handful stand out like hidden treasures. These are the pennies collectors spend years searching for, hoping to uncover one tucked away in a coin roll, a dusty jar, or maybe even in your wallet right now. What makes them so special is not just the lack of a mint mark, but also their composition and rarity. Some of the 1983 pennies were accidentally struck on the older copper planchets. Others show unusual doubling on the lettering or the date. And when these rare features come together, the value skyrockets. Collectors love coins like this because they tell a story of history, of mistakes, of something slipping through the cracks at the U.S. Mint that wasn't supposed to happen. Every rare penny is like a time capsule, a little piece of American history that connects us back to the past. And when you hold one in your hand, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding a mystery, a treasure, and in some cases, a small fortune. Now let's get to the part you've been waiting for. The big question on everyone's mind: how much could this little coin really be worth today? Well, if you're lucky enough to find a genuine 1983 penny with no mint mark in outstanding condition, you're not looking at just a few dollars. You're not even looking at a few $100s. The value of this coin has shocked collectors again and again because one example has sold for as much as $35,000. Today we are diving into the fascinating story of the United States of America 1-cent penny from the year 2020 without a mint mark. At first glance, it looks just like any other ordinary penny you might find in your pocket change, but don't be fooled. Hidden in plain sight, some of these coins carry a secret that makes them far more valuable than you could ever imagine. The penny has always been one of the most collected coins in American history. It might be small, but it has a big legacy. The design featuring Abraham Lincoln has been in use for decades, and every single year collectors search through their change hoping to spot something unusual. The 2020 penny is no exception. Now, you might be wondering, what makes a no-mint mark penny from 2020 so interesting? Most coins are struck at specific mints, and they carry a tiny letter under the year to show where they were made. It could be a P for Philadelphia, a D for Denver, or an S for San Francisco. But occasionally, a coin is struck without any mint mark at all. And that is where the magic begins. No mint mark coins often spark excitement because they can be linked to rare production errors or special releases. When collectors see a coin like that, their curiosity skyrockets. They start asking questions: how many were made? How many still exist in circulation? And most importantly, what could it be worth? The truth is, while millions of 2020 pennies were produced, not all of them are ordinary. Some have qualities, conditions, or minting mysteries that make them stand out in the crowd. And when rarity meets demand, value begins to climb. People all across the country are checking their jars of loose change, their piggy banks, and their coin rolls from the bank, all with one goal in mind: finding a special penny that could be worth far more than a single cent. So picture this. You're holding a penny that looks just like every other one in your wallet, but to a collector it could represent the missing piece of a collection. And that feeling, the chance that you might stumble upon hidden treasure in the most unexpected place, is what makes coin collecting so addictive and exciting. Now let's talk about the part that everyone has been waiting for. If you happen to discover a 2020 penny with no mint mark in pristine condition, you might be shocked by its potential. Collectors have already paid a stunning price for this rare little coin. Believe it or not, one of these special pennies has reached the incredible value of $3,000. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and share it with your friends so they can also discover how pocket change can sometimes turn into a treasure.